Oh boy, this is not good for the defendant, but there's another way to look at it. Joining me on set is a very familiar face. Rachel Stockman's here with me.
Jesse.
Rachel, these searches, not great, but it's from a year ago, a year before she died.
Yes, but I think we're going to get to some other searches that were a little bit more recent from what we know about this case. It wasn't just these. And listen, these are, some of these are, you know, somewhat harmless. You're searching characteristics of a cheating wife. That's, I mean,
he's going down the rabbit hole.
He's going down the rabbit
search.
hole. And he's also doing this at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. So obviously this is keeping him up at night. He's thinking about this. But while it is about a year from the crime, it does show that this was festering inside of him for all this time. So you have that aspect as well.
The other way to look at it is if you're really going to plot the murder of your wife, right? And this is the way you're going to do it. And it's been, you have a year to have this fester. He's even been thinking about this. You can do it on the own family property, in the shed, with your own corn rake, say it was an accident, and then you're now in a position where you're on trial. And I think that's the problem there. The problem is he couldn't have even planned this better. And we keep saying that in other times too, but maybe this case is one example of it. But what we did hear earlier from the deputy is that Jerry Frazier, the man that apparently Amy was having an affair with, was kind of ruled out. He was at a different location at the time of the killing. We also learned more about the security footage that was found at the farm was conveniently turned off. A lot to talk about here, so let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be live. All right, obviously a lot to talk about with these search histories. So on one hand, Rachel, you could have a guy who's maybe writing a book about cheating, maybe he has a fascination about survival. On the other hand, you have a guy who's over the course of several months plotting or exploring different ways to get rid of his wife. Now, I'm curious your thought on this, because now we're getting into the heat stroke, and we were just talking. He's looking at this in August 2018. Maybe it's about him.
I mean, it's hard to tell with these. We'll see where these searches are going. But with this heat issue, I see this as a harmless search because it's the middle of August. It could be hot in the farm. He could be just searching for his own interest. That doesn't prove he was going to try to do anything to her. Some of the other searches, though, certainly are a bit more damning, and from what I understand, we're going to be seeing more of those. But listen, it paints a picture over the months, starting a year, almost a year from when she was murdered, of him getting increasingly worried about having an unfaithful woman, the punishments for killing an unfaithful woman. This doesn't look good for the defense.
And again, just to go back, if he's plotting it for a year, the way she's killed in the shed with the corn rake and says it's at first an accident, it seems very sloppy.
Yeah, exactly. If this was his big plot after a year of thinking of this, his big idea was to kill her with a corn rake, slamming her twice, and then leaving her there and pretending it's an accident, you would have thought Google could have come up with something a little bit better for him there. I mean, I'm not trying to make a joke of it, but like, really?
No, I mean, look, and we're in August right now. If there were search histories that maybe are more towards the date about how to kill someone with a corn rake, or how a corn rake injury, where's the best place to inflict the pain, then I would say, okay, maybe there's something there. At this point, is this a guy who's just angry about his wife cheating and he's just spitballing here? Yeah,
and I mean, there are some searches where it could say, okay, maybe he was thinking of staging an accidental hunting shooting. That could be, but again, we have to see where it goes as we get closer to the date of when she was murdered.
Organs in the body. So
there we go.
That was the one we were waiting for. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll probably still be in these search histories. Stay tuned.